the Miami Heat is unfortunately in a stage where the culture is their foundation and the culture is also their detriment. That's what's going on. And when you mismanage, which is, again, I'm starting to see more people going after what's going really on, what I've been talking about for a while now. This is a 10-year run of constant bad decisions in the front office. Your culture, you bring Whiteside. Well, okay, see, you mismanage your culture. He doesn't fit your culture, yet you're putting the square peg in the round hole, and then you give him a big contract. Then you go with Dion Waiters, who needs surgery on his foot, and you give him a contract, and he's never been a consistent player. Why wouldn't you wait for him to have the surgery, give him a 1-year deal, and say, here's a couple bucks so you can hang in there. And if you come back and you play the way you play, then we'll talk about an extension. No, you went on 27 games because your culture, you think you can make anybody a star. Detriment. Culture's good. Culture's right. I love their culture. I love what Pat Riley has created. But he has to know when to turn it on and turn it off. He has to know when to use it and when he can't use it. The Butler stuff, he doesn't have to apologize. Butler's a fucking lazy ass piece of crap that was playing. Did you watch him last night? He coasted. Last night. That was right there. Kick, push, and coast. That was it right there. There was a doo-wop band back in the day, the Coasters. I'm sure Jimmy Butler, somehow or another, his dad must have been part of it. But your culture is part of your problem. Because your culture, you sat there on the table and you talked up Tyler Hero, and you keep talking up Tyler Hero for years now. You keep trying to think that your culture is going to make that guy into a star, and it's not. Bam Adebayo, you want him to marry your daughter. You don't want him to be anywhere near what is called your franchise player, one of your top players. He's not that guy. Your culture has misled you. Your culture says you can turn to LeBron and say, we've got Bob and Danny Granger for you, and Shabazz Napier, come back to us. Your delusional culture that you think where you're at and where reality is at. You say you have culture, then why did you allow Jimmy Butler to play poker with his agent in the locker room and have roughshod of the locker room and do whatever and step all over you? I thought you had culture. I thought you should have eliminated that from the get-go. And then you allow him to bring Kyle Lowry. Did you think your culture was going to make Kyle Lowry useful? I'm confused. How is the culture implemented? How is the culture used? Riley says, I'm proud of it. Really? The last 10 years, you proud of it? You're proud of becoming a second-rate franchise now? You're lucky because you have a world-class coach that makes everything chicken salad when it's really chicken shit. You gave him a bunch of scumbags, and he went 31-10. You give him a weak number 2 Robin, and he gets you to the finals twice in the Eastern Conference Finals 3 times. The Duncan Robinson golden slipper, it burned out. How long do you want it to last? The prince becomes a frog at one point. But no, your culture is going to make him an all-star shooter every single year. And maybe a defender. Not. It's it's a misplaced word, culture, right now with the Miami Heat. I don't think they really know how to use it at this point in time. It's a really good talking piece, but it's not effective because it's not being used properly. And so your culture, when you should have been trading away Hero, like I said, halfway through the year, right? They're not, no hindsight. There's no hindsight here, right, Sean? Did I not say if he's healthy by halfway of the year, by the trade deadline? No, but your culture thinks that you can elevate shit talent to stars. And suckers in the Heat Nation buy it because you guys have gotten, some of you, a lot of you, have become delusional Heat fans and you really don't see what's going on. And that's culture blinding you. So your culture, you keep Tyler, you end up getting in and you lose the spot that wins the number one overall spot. Because you're dying to get into the play-in. I get it. It's so important to your culture to win. To win what, dude? I remember when you were establishing it, I was there, Pat Riley. I was at the press conference on that boat, and you had a dream of a parade on Biscayne Boulevard. And I'm sitting there eating shrimp and salmon and having the greatest press conference meal I had ever had in my life. They never did it on that boat again. Anyway, Mickey, come on, bro. Press conferences should all be on a boat. You got plenty of food to spare. Anyway, I'm just saying it was a different standard, remember, I've tweeted out, go look at my timeline. Hey, remember when the Heat had real stars? Like these guys, Pat Riley sits there and they want to win with Bam and Tyler for the last few years. And we used to win with Zoe and Timmy and Shaq and the big three. It's just like what happened? What happened, dude? What happened? We used to have Hall of Famers coming off the bench like Ray Allen. That's how we played the game. Oh, Zoe goes to, okay, let's go pick up Mason. It's like, I'd rather have Anthony Mason than anybody on this goddamn team. Okay? Those of you that are young, you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but all of you that are old enough, Anthony Mason has bigger balls, bigger character, and tougher than anybody on that damn team right now, including Bam. Your culture. Your culture needs a lot of fine tuning. Your culture needs to go back to the garage, to the garage. You need to go talk to the mechanic. Spark plugs, oil change, air filters. Your culture is all stuffed up, bro. It's just a word now. That's all it is. It's a bunch of fluff, a bunch of hot air. Come on, man. The level of talent for the Miami Heat has gone just rocketing down like the dollar. Put it that way. That thing that some of you still carry in your pockets that's lost over 98% of its value? Yeah. That's the Miami Heat, dude. Their culture is not worth what it used to be worth. The level of talent is not what it used to be, not even close. When you think about those Zoe and Timmy teams and who used to come off the bench, way better than what you got here. Remember how I talked for years how Shula's backup quarterbacks, Earl Morrall and Don Strock, are better than all the quarterbacks we've had post Marino to Tua. Everybody in between, we'd all take Don Strock and Earl Morrall. Okay? Everybody in between. Throw Pennington in there too. I'll take Don Strock over Pennington every day of the week and twice on Sundays, and I'll take Earl Morrall every day of the week and twice on Sundays over Chad Pennington. So it's the same thing with the Heat. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait a minute. Who's the host that's saying that the Miami Heat are turning into the Miami Dolphins? Oh, that's right. I think on the show we said, like, the 04 to 14 is like the 70s, and now 15 to now is like the 80s, right? You got to a couple championships, but just like 82 and 85, yeah, so what, you got there, but you weren't shit. You didn't belong there. And it proved it. Both teams were better than you and embarrassed you. Same thing. Somebody's saying that. So what I'm trying to tell you is every decade for the Dolphins has gotten worse. Is that what's happening now for the Heat? Because they're hanging on to culture. Culture. What culture, dude? The culture of being a play-in team? That's your fucking culture? So if Heat Riders want to sell you the bullshit that Tyler Hero's got a chance to be this, or Bam's got a chance to be that, or they've got a chance because if they get Durant now, oh my God, are you hanging on like Durant is? Now we got idiots in the Heat Nation, maybe in the front office. No, let's go after Kevin Durant, which he really isn't going to come here anyway. But you're not winning shit with Kevin Durant, Bam, and Tyler. How delusional are you? Oh, wait. Well, our culture will turn Zion Williamson around. Is that what we're going to do next? It's time for the people in the Miami Heat front office and ownership group to sit down and have a nice ass, truthful conversation and look in the mirror and really understand who the hell their mediocre asses are. Okay? So what happened yesterday in the lottery, the culture is, your foundation. It's also your detriment. Because you now do not see, culture stays with time, but you must change. You can have the same work ethic, but you need to adapt because things will change. So your culture must have, a pivot to it. And they don't really have a pivot to it. They're so stale with it, they don't really know how to, when they adjust, they allow them to step all over, and that's just not the way it goes. And then this is what's happened to you now. So now you allow the Whitesides in the world inside, you allow the Jimmy Butlers to step all over you because you're a desperate franchise now to win. You're so desperate, oh no, we'll go get lazy, fat ass Zion Williamson and try to convert him now. You've become that franchise that's desperately looking, instead of you being the franchise that used to be the elite, and the elite was just coming to you. Those days are gone because your culture is gone. And your culture now doesn't mean shit in the big picture. I keep telling you guys, this whole thing of Riley throwing the rings and all that stuff, that shit is over, bro. Stop it with that. These kids don't give a shit. Nobody cares. Most of them don't even know who the hell Pat Riley is. They have to go Google his ass. We're way past that, dude. We're Riley. We're way past the fact that now the adults that are having the kids, they don't know enough about Riley anymore. So it's not like it was 20, 30, 40 years ago where there was a foundation and all that, and that connection is gone, dude. That shit is gone. And they don't understand that, and they haven't adjusted. And because they haven't adjusted and the system has adjusted, they don't adjust. Madonna did a beautiful job for many years adjusting in the 80s and the 90s and 2000 and continue to have hits as she got older. The Rolling Stones, they've been around forever. Hackney Diamonds did well, actually. You got to adjust. In order for you to stay relevant, have you heard Billy Idol's new album? He's got a hit out of it. All that, he stays relevant. His album is actually really good, by the way. Really, really good. You got to listen to it. I would say the first 6 songs are awesome. And then it kind of, peters out a little bit after that. But, hey, dude. But my point is, you got to adjust with the times. Or if not, you get left behind. And that's what's happened to the Heat. They haven't adjusted. There's a way of staying still disciplined and still being who you are, but at the same time adjusting. And one of the things that I've kept telling you over and over again that I feel I'm right and they are way wrong, and I keep getting proven over. And now they're so screwed at this point. They're way behind me. But remember, as I said, the Butler thing after the last run of the championship, remember, I was grateful of those runs, but I did not buy into those runs like, oh my God, we're the second coming. No, it was flukish. And I knew it was flukish, and I said it was flukish, and I kept it. And that's why I said, trade him now. And of course, I'm the evil guy. I'm the asshole. I'm good with that, dude. I'm fine being the bad guy. Okay, I'm fine being the bad guy now that, oh my God, some guy yesterday, well, your Dolphin content is just bad now. And I go, yeah, I know, bro, because, it's not the echo chamber you want. It's not me blowing smoke up your ass and telling you it's going to be a great year. No, I know. I'm telling you it's going to be a bad year, and you don't want to hear that. But this has to change. And they have to blow things up. They had a chance to trade Jimmy and get a bunch of picks. They had a chance to try to trade Hero at the middle of the season. By the end of the year, you already have players on the other side in the league saying, oh, no, all we have to do is attack Tyler because he sucks. He can't play defense, which, again, kills his value. But he stayed healthy, which should have been a sign. Bro, you should have traded him halfway through the season. And trade Bam, too, now. Trade both of them. Get as many picks as possible. It is time to completely reset. And again, culture getting in your way. Mickey Arison. I can't tear the team down. Nobody will then show up. I've got to make my money. Bro, you'll make your money. You got your TV contract. So if the building's half empty because your team sucks, you're doing what's best for the team long term. But no, let me fool people so we're just good enough. We'll get Durant and we'll hype it up and people will buy and they'll buy the suites and all that. And we'll just keep, teasing you that we're just good enough to barely get in, but not good enough to make a real run because you're not making a real run with Durant and Bam and Tyler. Please, dude. How many times are you going to try and convince yourselves that those guys are the answer? So you have a culture. It's been your foundation. It's been your detriment. Fix it. Figure it out. It's more embarrassing to be this than to actually purposely lose and tear it completely down. There's a plan there, at least. What's the plan here? Stay mediocre? That's what's going on. Okay? Don't know if people will tell you or they'll be honest, but that's what's going on. And again, I'm not saying to fire Riley or anything like that. I'm just saying y'all need to go look in the mirror. Okay? You folks on Biscayne Boulevard, you all need an intervention with yourselves. Owner, front office, okay? And what you're doing to Spo is a freaking crime. We've got the best coach on the planet, and we give him dog shit every year. Dog shit every year, problems, drama, bullshit, and he has to then go figure it out. You don't give him real professionals, real studs. You just give him a bunch of clay, and he's got to try to mold it every year into something. It's disgusting. It really is. I'm tired of it, and I keep talking about it. So, sorry if this is not the echo chamber you're looking for the Miami Dolphins or the Miami Heat. I call reality. I don't, this is not about, bro, there's plenty of fan sites, plenty of those kind of places. They got to live off of this and they got to worry about, I don't worry about this, bro. I don't worry about pissing you off. And if you don't want to watch because you can't handle the truth, whatever, dude.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.